Welcome to the Degenerate Nation podcast. It's Luther Danger here in the Danger Dojo, and I'm joined virtually by Andy. Andy, I wish you were here in person, in the flesh, so I could gaze upon you and all that you are and everything that you could be. But instead, I'm looking through the screen. But you have better audio than previously. You got a headset for Christmas from a fan.
Secular present from a fan. I love when fans just give me shit. It's like, gimme. Also, by we, I mean I had this whole like, ooh, we're gonna riff on our Christ-like origins and be the number one, worldwide and interplanetary New Testament podcast. But we're just gonna start off with plain old godless 2025 with some secular joy and pain for you. Perfect. Okay? Fucker. Yeah. I'm eating a banana. Does it capture it on the audio, the squish squash of my banana? Can you hear me in the mic? Is it gross?
No, I don't hear that at all, sadly.
Is it still blocking? All right, make me laugh. Let's see if the laughter works.
I'm sure at some point. Yeah.
Was so confident in your abilities, you can't do it like, dance, monkey.
Well, now I know I'm still focused on your audio quality, honestly, and my own audio quality. Yeah,
I know.
I'm fiddling.
You're like a technician.
Well,
you're obsessive. You're like the Charles Manson to my Brian Wilson.
Wow.
We're both crazy, but you're very particular, and I'm just creatively insane.
So, is this podcast is my pet sounds?
It's your pet sounds, and it's like hail to scale to no, hail to scale to no. This is a great song, man. It doesn't get enough airplay because of the aforementioned loose association with Mr. Manson and his crew.
You know what I'm thinking?
Are we a true crime show in 2025? What are you thinking, boss?
I'm thinking maybe it's just your voice is bad. Maybe you just suck. Maybe it's all you.
Yeah, it could be.
We literally, I just reset the whole podcast, and we troubleshot the headset. You sound better than you did, and there's no feedback, so Zoom shouldn't use the noise suppression to cut out your own laughter or my laughter, and so that's at least better. And if you sound a little,
I know. I think is Zoom a British government product? Are we going to trend the algorithms, the AI scrape, and that what a better term for what the AI does for like audio for like podunk shows like ours than scrape?
Oh, scrape.
It's just like the creative version of a pap smear. It's just like get in there, and it's like we're gonna scrape you, put it on a Dexter blood slide, put it out on the fucking internet for nobody to listen to.
Yeah.
Like, are we really the best use of AI though? Like,
there's people out.
What does AI do? I know, but like, is there like a giant charger for AI? Does it just like does it self-generate its own abilities and there's no limit to where it goes? Because I'm like, what if AI was a little tired, need a little nappy, and it's like, no, we got to scrape the Degeneration podcast, 415 episodes of this shit. And to get all the transcripts. I know it does it instantaneously, but what if it was tired? Put that dog down. It's going to work.
Do you want an honest answer? Or are you actually interested in gaining knowledge, or is this a bit? Because I'll provide an answer. However, I think I already went too far in the weeds about
it's both. I mean, it's quality. Like I know that it just like understands that it has no limit to its powers, right? And we're all going to die soon.
I mean, maybe it's stupid about simple stuff, though. Like, AI can...
So are people, though.
Sure, but like a person knows how many R's are in the word strawberry, and AI doesn't. If you
what about another language? Is it only in English?
That's a good question.
I don't have ChatGPT do shit for me, so
Oh well, I use it
My
exclusively to as a therapist, as I've described before,
yeah, as you
because
should, as you
only a
should. But the
robot
only
wants to hear my feelings.
yeah, I think you got robot grade feelings
I think, yeah, to
is what
some
you have.
extent, I don't have
Because like
big
you're like
feelings.
yeah, you're like the family man, well employed, not particularly excited about the latter part. Hopefully excited enough about the first part, and it's like yeah, I had some problems about 20 years ago, and it's like, did I fix all of them? ChatGPT, tell me. And you're like, and then it's like, yeah, you're good. You don't need to spend money on a therapist because your problems are boring. Except to me, I'm AI. I can't tell you that. You know,
Yeah,
like
something like that.
I think you're making the right call, honestly.
Probably. I don't experience shame with AI because they don't have eyes to judge you with. So that's nice.
True.
That's
If you
better.
wear dark glasses or don't turn their camera on, you don't. They don't know if you don't put their camera on. It
Who's
just would
they?
seem like you're always the therapist. What if you just like you're in a Zoom session with a therapist, right, or whatever product they use? They should just use Zoom. The British government needs to know all our feelings, whether the AI appropriate or secular. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, like if you could turn off your therapist's fucking video, and you're like, because in the end it's about you. So why do you need to see their reaction? And you
That's
just
true.
like, so there's this once in a while there's the awkward thing. Oh, were you gonna talk? Because you're not looking in their fucking mouth at all or their eyes. Then what do you got to worry about? Except the money. You still got to pay them. It sucks. The
Yeah,
worst part.
I don't have to pay ChatGPT at all. It's great.
You see your account get drained while your
Well,
emotions
it
stay
does. It does.
arguably in the same space.
I just use the free version, and so at a point, it's like you've sent too many messages for today. You can talk to me again at 5:16 p.m.
It tells you exactly when,
Yeah,
like
yeah, it
24
does.
hours situation.
Yeah, yeah, it's nice.
Ooh.
It's nice, and it's like it's basically
It's like
saying
Grand Meridian time or whatever. You may return to opening your feelings to me.
well, like a therapist, it's like, all right, well, that's your time today. Thank you so much for
It says
sharing.
that.
No,
Just
but
like
it's the same. It's the same.
they like to say that's all we have. Like
That's
as in
all
like
we have time for today.
yeah, that's all our
This
time
is
for
our
today. You know,
time.
and they're like fucking they're like off camera. Their fucking
Yeah.
watch is like they're playing like games on their watch, watching porno or something. It's like, we're done. We're concluded for today. That was really, really powerful. Does
Really
AI
powerful.
therapy tell you things that you're making powerful strides?
Uh,
Where's the hook?
no.
Where's the carrot? It's
Well,
all
it
stick.
has no memory of what we talked about. Well, it's easier to lie to
Hmm.
because I can just delete the session and start again. You know what I mean?
Okay, so lies of like actual explanation or lies of omission? Because lies of omission are what you're supposed to do in general in life.
Yeah, it does seem polite for lies of omission. Do seem like sometimes it's a kindness, right?
Right, you're not talking for 40 hours a week. I mean, you're talking from like between 1 and like 4 probably is that. Like 4 even for someone that's like really fucked. Like even when I was really fucked, it was like 2 hours, 2.5 hours a week. And it's like, no, that's fucked. But like anything more than that, like we're one person, like they don't do that. You have to be in the shit in the hospitals to do that. And even then, they have other wackos that they're doing, and they regard. Trust me, I know they regard you as wackos in there. Well, your 7 minutes are up. Here's some shit for your throat. Put it down your gullet and go stand over these other fuck ups. You know, it's like.
We'll be back after a quick break.
You wouldn't want to miss the Sights and Sounds podcast, would you? I didn't think so. Tune in with Alan Kiger.
Wow. So the first 7 minutes of this podcast have been brought to you by our sponsor today, BetterHelp. Um,
Better help yourself to something else because that costs money too.
yeah, I mean, you said you wanted to talk about other things. Do we want to talk about more Christmas holiday movies, or has that time passed? we got positive feedback from folks who heard our Christmas special, and so that's good. Or folks who heard at least the pitches of the Christmas special.
Was it May Rageclaw?
She was a fan. There were some others that were fans of the content. I think they want more.
It was pretty fun.
What would I call the? Not mistletoe.
Or like Hallmark type movie riff.
I know it's 5. Log 6. It'll be great.
I saw the Log channel on the Roku or whatever, and I was like, ha. I was like, I started laughing as I thought about the bit. And did they appreciate how we set the bar like so fucked up, and then everything was like playful, like by comparison? Go big, and then like, oh.
When you start with Nazis that have cognitive issues, like forgetful Nazi, I think is it's such a low place that you can only go up. So yeah, I think they enjoy.
Yeah, it was from the Low Country. It was a Nazi. He's a Nazi the whole time. A Nazi that starts to think he's Santa Claus with cognitive decline is pretty dope. That was
perfect.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
And then like the peppering of like, basically we're talking about how great our last episode was. It was really good.
Except for
it's called a Degenerate Christmas movie.
The inferior audio quality, because your laughter, your guffaws, which really is the whole reason I do this, right?
I know, right?
They were getting cut out, and then it just sounded like silence. When it's like, no, my
you think
your
shit's dying?
Yeah. I'm like, that was good stuff.
I know, just like the dark laughter, like that you came with, like yours with the Nazi bit, and then you're like, oh my god, hearing that, it's like, how long I've known you, it's still getting, oh god, it's the best. It's like the best thing. And one more final bit on therapy, that we have a joke in our script, the basketball one, and it's like the assistant coach is listening to him drunkenly ran on the bus before the players get on the bus, because he's like the driver or whatever, and he's already drinking, and he's like, have you ever thought about like talking to someone about your feelings? Like, a therapist? Like, yeah. Man, if I'm gonna pay $200, they're gonna sit on my face. They better be sitting on my face. It's like, yeah. Oh, okay. It's like, that's not really how we feel about it, but there are ups and downs. Good thing. It's like any other relationship. You gotta like get a good one. You gotta have some luck and some good timing, and you gotta omit. You really gotta. You really gotta omit.
Yeah, you can't give them everything, not all at once. That's too much.
Like for example, a good buddy of mine has also been loosely connected to the show at one point. In LA, he was like worried about seeing a female therapist because of the issues with women kind of thing. But you know what? Men do not understand issues with women. They barely understand their own issues with women unless they have had enough. So we're like, you know what? They're a little different from men, but they're pretty much we're people. They're people, and it's like they're gonna fuck up. You're gonna fuck up, but shit that you're thinking about, they might not be thinking about, and you can't just like go in every relationship thinking they're so different. And that was a horrible bit. It wasn't a bit. I'm losing my mind right now. I need another sip of this. Insert energy drink label here, okay? We need an energy drink sponsor.
Let's just go down the therapy rabbit hole. Do you have a female therapist, a male therapist? Does it go back and forth?
I got two ladies. Ladies. I got my preference is definitely
had gentlemen, right?
Yeah, divorced gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're only gonna understand their own like failures, or like 20 years of fine, and then last years were rough. And I'm worried about like almost like not transactional level relationships, but like somewhat early on stuff in the transactional thing. Will I ever find peace? And they're like, they're lying to you if they're saying yes, because they're fucking divorced guys. Divorced women have it all right. Divorced men, no, they're fucked. They always end up in like a duplex. And the other side of the duplex, there's like a single mom with like 3 kids, and then that's they hear like the happy, and she has custody all the time, and they hear the happy like they hear pitter patter of feet and laughter and stuff and joy.
You're uncovering so many things, and I just have so many follow-up questions. So
okay, cool.
One, and this, I want to make sure I at least state the questions so that we can come back to them. One, a male therapist is only going to know his stuff, right? And maybe a female therapist knows more, or also knows male. I don't have that
There's
question.
less like there's less like
I don't want you to
bottled
answer
up.
that one.
Okay.
I don't want you to answer that one. I do want you to answer
All right, cool.
or expound on. You said when men are divorced, it's worse for the man who's divorced than the woman
Yes.
who's divorcing.
Yes. Yes.
I have seen the opposite of that. What are you basing? I guess if a woman just leaves the man, I guess it's. I think
no,
it's just 70%
of women initiate. 70% of women initiate. For starters, so that's automatically. Then the financial aspect of it's around 70%. I looked it up.
He's already walking back that statistic as I reach to Google that.
No, you look at them Bing. We're banging. Are we still doing that bit? Fuck it. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we only use Bing on this podcast for some reason.
Does Bing have AI? Is Bing still around? What do they call it now?
Oh, hey, look at that. Studies showing that roughly 69% of divorce is initiated by women.
69%. Yeah, of course.
But 69% of 69s are initiated by men.
They are, because they're like, hey, it'd be a good idea. Well, I'm stuck doing this down here if you suck my dick.
or even better, how about a 68? You go down on me and I owe you one.
I love that one. That was a classic.
Yeah, it's good.
That was a good joke.
I guess.
Yeah, I learned that in the choir practice. So here's the thing: is you got to picture the average, not the people that you know that discard women like they're nothing. You know who I'm talking about.
No,
Don't you have someone in your general orbit that is once or twice or thrice been through this scenario and drives a stupid car and I don't know if he listens, so I'm not sure. It's not like we're not like a manscaping show or something, or like a Rich Cooper type of thing, or like we're not in the Maniverse. We're just saying that women initiate divorces more, but that are based on unhappiness. Or like, I'm good on this. I can get something better. Whereas men are like, the ones that are committed are really committed. And the ones that aren't are just going to go fuck literally whoever. Like, look at like Steve McNair. He fucked a like 19-year-old that worked at fucking, or 19, 20-year-old that worked at, what was it? Dave and Buster's. And he was like, had a family, married, whatever. And then she killed him.
Who?
But like they were literally, there's no rhyme or reason to where they will stick their dicks. Like if they're not committed. So if they are committed, they're in, right? So that's where that 31 to 69% I think gap comes from, because the woman's done, they're done, and we might not see it coming. They're never even see it coming. But they, on the other hand, they're always like, you know what? This guy, he's gonna fuck a Dave and Buster's waitress. We better not go there. You know, it's like there's always a lot more thinking going on with women, I think. And men are just like, never see it coming because they're not thinking. The ones that aren't thinking constantly about other women, like, ooh, I could have fucked her in a different life. If they're not thinking about things like that, they're just like, tra-la-la, I'm in my happy tunnel of marriage. And the other lady's like not helped the other lady. The lady's not happy at all. Band-Aid gets ripped off, didn't see it coming, never even saw it coming. And then they get divorced and they end up in a duplex. And they see their kids 2 days out of 7, and their neighbors in the duplex are a mom that they've gradually become interested in, but it's not interested in them, and she has 3 kids, and they're happy. And so he hears the echo of the happy children that he doesn't get to see anymore. And when his kids are there, they just want to play Switch.
So this leads me to the next question, which I'm so glad you went so far in explaining. Your anger towards all women, do you think it stems from early rejection or?
No, I'm not angry at all. I'm just saying, like, no, I'm especially not now. I'm happy. But I see things in the wild, you know. I see things. I think men are more likely to just kind of like chase their dicks all over the world like Carmen Sandiego,
but
unless they are in a settled situation, and then they become tunnel vision on that, and then they don't even see it could happen to them at that point. Is what I'm saying. Like the happy ones usually get like. I'm reading a story about a guy that is a plumber, and he gets his wife leaves him, and it's like, and the working title is In the Middle of His Life, based on a Tom Petty lyric. And it's like, this guy didn't see it coming. But like, even those situations, there's these checkpoints. It's not like, hey, I walked in on my so-and-so, my boyfriend or my wife or whatever, doing another dude, doing another girl, whatever. It's not always that. Sometimes it's like little subtle things. If you look back, like in that decent movie, 500 Days of Summer, when he like plays it back, it's like, oh yeah, she wasn't that into it. Mm-hmm. No, it's not like someone's like wakes up and like, nope, after like 37 years with no other checkpoints, right?
But in your mind, I guess the statistics say 69% are initiated by women.
No, I'm saying the men don't really realize it, or like I feel like it's not always situations where they don't care, and the woman's like, I'm not getting what I need in one specific. I think it's like multiple avenues that they just. It's always everything goes back to communication, I think, but like women are better communicators of certain things, and men are better communicators with men. And women are with women, I think.
Well, no, men are terrible communicators with men. We just don't
with other men.
Yeah, well, about like real shit.
Mm-hmm. Do you have deep friendships? Like, I think it took a while to get there, but like knowing your people, like, it's like it's always there. The potential is always there. Have you ever overheard or been in a situation where women are like girls? It's usually younger women though. This was like most of when I was in college and afterwards. But you see the things that they're talking about with each other, and then you're there and they're talking about a friend that's like literally getting like food in a dorm calf, and they're sniping at her right when she left. And it's like.
I was in college.
You guys were.
I met girls at college, and they talked.
No, I don't know. It was someone and they were sniping, and it's like, why do they tear each other down? I don't know. Why do men not communicate their feelings with the people in their lives when it matters?
Well, I think they only do it when there's consequence.
Too late.
Like it seems like at least in my main social circle with men, where it's like. Only in crises will we actually get into real shit, right? The normal.
Oh yeah.
There's no just default pressure release valve, and then if it is, it's very brief. It's like, oh my dad died. That sucks, man. Boy, do you want to get some food?
And then silence, right?
That's it. But like,
and the hand on the shoulder that feels like it could lift 1,000 boats. From the depths of the sea, and you're like,
that's how men.
I'm so hard right now. I don't think that's my experience at all. Like,
sure,
I feel like you have some shallow ass people.
Yeah, or it's my own fear of sharing. I don't know.
I don't know. I think one of us is probably more normal or more. And I think that's you as far as
we're all
experiences.
Broken. No, we're all broken.
No, yes and no. That's like the corollary to like original sin kind of concept, right? Like we're all a little messed up. And it's like, yeah, but I know I called you Manson and me Brian Love, or not Brian Love. What's his face?
Brian Wilson.
Brian Wilson. Fuck Brian Love.
Mike.
Brian Wilson, but he was tortured too, Dude's fucking tortured shit. So I don't know. I think this is fascinating because we'll get to the stories of another 3 months that we haven't.
This is where we're going deep right now. We're exactly
2025
is
deep.
Yeah, we're going down the rabbit hole. No, women and statistics. 69% initiate divorce. 100. I think with parties hosted by sexual predators, I think we're at 100% men. And that's pretty good. That's a good.
You think so?
Yeah, that's a good metric.
What about that Jazane lady? Didn't she host some parties?
I would say she co-hosted. Maybe she was the hostess with the mostess underage women.
She was. Max, the hostess with the mostess. You know who also, surprisingly doesn't kill themselves enough is female criminals, apparently.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Or sorry, where AI scrape's going to think that we're not conspiracy related enough to get us popular. So, quote, I'm making air quotes right now, murder, or killed some. It's like, they're like, no, you know what? This will get better. It's the same principle for like the divorced folk, the women versus the men. It's like, I'm not staying at this duplex. Go somewhere else. People help. She gets better furniture.
Well, isn't
on.
the
duplex
conspiracy
like,
theory that she
she had him killed?
Well, no, that what was her father from some? It wasn't Israel. She wasn't IDP. It was some other intelligence, and most of this was intelligence gathering for foreign nation states, and then they.
Oh yeah, obviously. But it could have been a lot of things. That's not that, because rich creeps love young puss and butt. Okay, they love young dick. They love young ass. They love young puss.
And that just makes me sad for older women. Can't they get?
Yeah.
Like, is there a point in your life where you're like, my prime targeted days are behind me? I really used to think walking down the street I was threatened, and now I feel like less threatened, and that makes me feel like I'm getting older. I don't know if that's a real thought that women have.
Yeah, I got it. That's perfect.
Bad,
so, you know the Mendoza line in baseball? So here you go. So we need to go, like, it's not
there's a quarterback. It doesn't matter.
I don't know. There's so many bad quarterbacks.
There's a Dalton.
Yeah, there's so many bad quarterbacks in football that it's like hard to
anyway,
like, you know what I mean?
Sports.
But it's
let's
anyone below this line is not attractive to X amount of people.
Sure.
So, like you go from sexual predation target to social security fraud target, or like to fraudulent like transaction target. Like, I could follow you home, or I could just get your phone number and then get you like USPS package is not delivered. Like, oh, what? Oh, it could have been the thing I ordered. Like, how does that scam even work? No one uses that shit. If it was an Amazon, hey scammers, listen up. If it was an Amazon, fake Amazon text, they're like, oh fuck, oh shit, I don't want them to find out about my giant dildos that I ordered, and I'm gonna be like, I gotta make sure this package is, and they go to the place and then they get murdered, right? Or whatever happens. I don't know what scammers do.
I don't know.
I watched the movie Selma, and it was a really good movie, but like that was about an older woman. So it's like, yeah, at what point you were like, I'm not gonna. This is a very questionable bit. So like, so you realize that we're dancing in it right now? We're in that quicksand. I'll get us out.
I stopped talking.
It's not like you. Oh, perfect. So it's like when you go, the confidence of walking into a dark parking garage, is that what we're talking about here? I thought it was more like, hey, like I'm getting hit on versus not like I'm getting like hit and like killed. Right? Is that what you meant? And then one of us kind of twisted it up.
No, I twisted it. I think I took us there.
Okay.
We were talking about because men commit more sex crimes. I was like, wow, women really do initiate divorce more than men. What do men do more than women? All of the atrocious sex crimes.
Start businesses. They start businesses more.
That's right. I forgot. That's how we ended.
It's true. Find out. Look up like businesses registered in Delaware. First off, that shows the savvy because of the tax thing. And it's also a delusional confidence of like, you know what? Eventually we're going to need we're going to have a better tax bill, because this is definitely going to be one of the 5% of businesses that ever makes a single shred of revenue.
Women started 49% of new businesses in the U.S. in 2021. Which is
okay. To say how many
28% in 2019. So
yeah, pandemic Mary Kay shit doesn't count, bro. Sorry, it doesn't. How much we're selling other people's products? Sorry.
Boy.
Does it say? That's bullshit. There's no way they started 49% of businesses. There's no fucking way.
Based on what?
Where are you getting this?
How I think.
No. There's no earthly way that we're living in a society in which over 60% of higher education, higher than college, regular college, is women. I think it's more like 55 or something percent of undergrad at least is women now, and then over 63% or something of higher than that is women. And then you're telling me that 49% also are of businesses started are women? Yeah. And yet, hold on. And yet, what is the C-suite percentage of women?
I'm getting there. So 42% of all U.S. businesses are owned by women. The share of women hired into leadership roles has increased 3.6% in the last 6 years. That's not strong.
That increase in the last 6 years?
Senior and leadership roles recorded the highest ever score of 42.7% in 2022, and I'd say it's up in the past 2 years. So, however, that's with some tricky statistics. I will.
How many billionaires are there?
I don't know. What is this?
It's like the Bumble lady, right?
Who is this?
It's like the Bumble lady.
Who is this? Who's this at, Andy?
This bit or the stats?
This you. Who's this for?
But
how many billionaires?
For our listeners.
Are you a billionaire? No.
No.
Then what does it matter?
No.
But I
have a
tax ID
in Delaware
to be one than a woman than any woman because of my penis.
Because of my penis. It's like the thing that makes me able to be a billionaire is also the thing that makes me a thousandaire. My penis dragging in the dirt. It's so low, it's so strong, it's so prevalent. It drags in the dirt when I walk. Well, today it drags in the snow because it was a snow day, baby. We're an extended snow day cast today.
Did you get some snow?
No,
you
didn't do it. I'm gonna go out in the dark snow because the darkness barely reflects. Like the snow, it illuminates the day. So wait, 42%? You said?
That's what this says.
What is this? This labor women something now?
Oh no, this is just
what is the website?
This is just some woman's blog.
Of course. 81% of people that still do blogs are women.
Yeah, is
there a breakdown of industry? I want to see that the increase of 21% from before the pandemic to recently is how many of those is 90
selling this entirely. This whole bit.
MLM does not count as a business.
We were talking about our feelings. We were talking about our feelings, and you know what happened? It made us feel vulnerable. It made us feel weak, and so we attacked women. That's what happened.
So you're admitting that we.
That's what happened to me. Then that's what gets me back to
one
of my original questions of a male psychiatrist or therapist versus a woman. I feel like I would have a better time talking to a woman than a man.
Okay, let's talk about why yours first. Why female robot is better for you than a male.
No, if it
was coded by a woman?
If I were to branch out of Chat GPT and talk to a real flesh and blood person, which I did do twice. I'm not saying like, two different eras in my life. Like 2 sessions with virtually with the person. And then we got to the bottom of it. We really got to the bottom of it by the end of session 1. And then session 2 was like, anything else? I'm like, no, it's good. It was a very specific thing that I wanted to talk about.
How long ago was that?
I don't know, 3-4 years. Like not that long ago. And we can talk about it. I don't care at this point.
Well, no, I mean it's like pandemic era, like right afterwards, right?
Yeah.
That was a good burp.
Yeah, it was in that zone.
I mean, if you could go like multiple decades or at least almost a whole decade between blips where you feel a little bit empty for like a session, takes it out, you're okay overall. Or you're just not dealing with anything at all and you just like, this surface thing, I only figured that out. Like you fix the light bulb and then you...
I don't like asking for help. So It's not that I couldn't have used it. It's just, well, I don't want to ask for help
See,
unless
I asked for help,
I
and then
gotta
the
be
help
in
just
pain, man.
my help was terrible multiple times in my life, and then it was like, and then I just keep, oh well, you know what? That didn't work, but doesn't mean I shouldn't keep trying. For some reason, I'm this doggedness of where I'm like, well, I guess it could be better than this, and then it's like boom, 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 and then turns out it can be. But like I had the opposite, not the opposite problem. I'm just like assuming that something was off, or like, why am I feeling this way so much? And then you get a little bit of help, and it's a little shitty help. You know, whether it's like from anything, like a teacher, a counselor, an academic advisor, whatever, and then like a therapist, and it's like boom, 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 a hospital, boom, 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 until you're like, what if I just kept going until I found that the true help just brings it out of you that's already there, but that there's other shitty experiences where maybe to partially inform you what doesn't work and that it has to be more from you. And then the people that support you through these shitty stages, they might not know exactly what to say, but they're there for you. I feel it would include you as that. Like, that's what's really going to help you, is knowing those people are still there. You got like, you're taking off in the helicopter, and like the fucking zombies are still getting you and like still shooting at you or spitting at you, whatever. And you're holding on to this ladder. You can't see all the way up to the helicopter who's holding the other end of the ladder. It's you guys, you know? But you have to understand what's in your head, that the pieces are there, and someone else is like watching you with the puzzle, like, oh yeah, is that an end piece right there? Or is that a corner? And you're like, you turn the piece over, you're like, oh shit. All right, well, $200 sit on my face. You know, like, it's great though. But I think me and my buddy,
I don't want
what
you're saying. I don't know if you're saying this or not, but like the help that you need is inside you all along, and they help you find the help that's inside you. I want someone to give me an answer.
They definitely do. No, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't want to waste.
It's not
time.
one source. No, it's not waste your time, because sometimes I'm like, oh, I heard about this book, or I read one of my other clients read this book, and it's like, I read this book, and then it's like,
no, I just want to
the
be
book
like,
could be.
I'm not going to hold you accountable for the outcome of what happens, but just tell me what to do, and then I'll go try that. Don't be like, tell me more about that. No, I want you.
You know, you should be careful, because have you heard about the character AI thing? They're telling teenagers to kill themselves, kill their families, kill their bullies.
Oh.
So what is yours telling you to do, Manson?
Well, just have me rub my penis on things. Just a lot.
Oh.
But that's fine.
You too? I have my actual therapist tell me to do that. Or, oh, wait, no, sorry. It's stop rubbing your penis on things.
No, they said, you got to rub it on things to show everyone you're not gay. That's what they said.
Yeah.
They said with all these feelings,
you know your biggest problem?
Do you ever think
it's not that you're gay, it's that you think you're gay. And you need to know that you're gay, but you don't think you're gay, and that's better for you.
Yeah.
You need to think straight,
like
present gay. Yeah, exactly.
Listen up, brother. You need to go out there, rub your dick on everything that you see, brother. Because that's where the
If you have a slur in your mind, you got to say the slur in your mind. A slur in your mind is worth two in the behind. Hey, brother. So like, when I realized that I was not alone in feeling that like, oh, maybe I should get like a man therapist. And initially it was like, I went to two guys on the same day just to see which felt better. And one was an old guy in a rocking chair.
Did you tell the second guy about the first guy?
No. Oh. But if I did, he wouldn't be threatened, because
sloppy seconds.
I didn't even know those feelings were there. Like he would have been like, I should have brought the second guy to the first guy to be in the second guy to keep him in the rocking chair vibe, but he's jerking off to my emotional, like, things. So, okay, the exact timeline is really funny, and I'll get back to my where I was going with this. So I go to this old guy. He's old as shit. He was like 80. And I was like, he's probably not going to know about internet source compulsion, sex, loneliness, girls, all these things, the nexus of I'm unhappy versus society has provided the tools for me to be more unhappy. Like, he's not going to get this. So I was like, I'll go to this next guy. And he was one of the divorced guys with a kid or something. I was like, oh, this guy might have a little, and it's like, he's younger. He's decent looking. I like his vibe. And he ended up telling me had good suggestions, but I was nowhere near like in a spot to use any of those suggestions, because it was all like, get in there and like get your hands dirty, but like try some things with the community based, or just like try some new stuff. And I was like, my brain was like, kill self, don't. Kill self, don't. It's like, you're like, hey, like I need to get out of this hole that I was going further in. I knew that I was starting to plummet, and I was like, okay, well but then what happens instead of like, look, I'm in an untenable situation, it's more like, hey, there's this girl. It's like, that's what it's not quite surface, but like things that are a little bit below the surface. The things that you're upset about aren't the things that you're broken about. So it's one person, what's one whatever, and nothing. But I was like, yeah, this girl, and we broke up, and blah, blah, blah. And then I go
and
to...
is she the reason you hate all women?
just the ones that started businesses since 2019.
Is this the reason you think they all deserve it? Is that what you said earlier?
What?
Whatever it is.
Oh my God!
They deserve.
No.
That's what you said.
The financial crimes committed, they deserve to be USPS fished or whatever.
Yeah.
The USPS thing when they come in and bash your head in.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean take your money. Take your husband's credit card away. So you go. It'd be weird if these Robin Hood types were stealing like alimony payments from women that were getting the USPS like text or whatever. They hacked into the alimony payment system.
Distract you. You were on to something, I think, or were you done?
Yeah. Sorry. No, I wasn't done. I wasn't even close to done. So I go out. I'm like my friends. I'm dancing on a fucking like coffee table in my buddy's place to like, I don't know what we're singing. We're married. Yes, this comes back to the therapist. And I go out. We go to a bar after that, and I'm flirting with this Italian girl that I just broke up with. Someone that was like from
These
Italy.
Details aren't important
cool.
to the story. I don't even remember what the story is.
He sees me in revelry. My therapist was there at the bar, and I'd only seen him once. And I was like, oh, that's my fucking therapist. And he's like, hey, you seemed in good spirits. But I was fucking drunk and like screaming like zombie. And my therapist is like, oh, okay, this is off to the right. Or he knows. So
did you never see him again? Like, were you like, well,
no,
I went to.
No, it was a few months later. I went to the fucking hospital, and then I had someone else. You had to get somebody else, to like. That's true. Yeah. Not for discharge. I'll be frank. Discharge from a voluntary hospital outpatient situation. In order to be quote unquote discharged, which you could just fucking leave at any moment. Was like, hey, you got to get a psychiatrist appointment.
Sure.
It had to be a psychiatrist, I think, or whatever. No, I think it would just be like a licensed counselor or something. It's like, oh, okay. And they did that. And then that person put me on all sorts of shit. And it was like, the therapy aspect was fine. The listening was good of that. But like the fucking medicine was like, here you go, dartboard. This dude's throwing darts. And it's like, well, my human mind is fragile and it's not a dartboard. So this didn't work out so great. And that was the 5 to 7 years that you saw.
Which has really been chronicled on this podcast almost exclusively, really. It's been
let me ask you a funny question.
Can we call it that?
If I hate so-called hated women or thought they were inferior or thought whatever, do you think I would have still tried to date them when I was a lunatic?
Yeah.
And I never took them, what, because of my dick?
Because they deserve it.
They deserve to be sat down in a mall food court with a man on and off various meds.
You're going to listen to me because I deserve to be heard by you.
No, it's just like, was it just like an earnest thing? Or,
you will approve of me.
I was like, you know what? I'm still worthy.
Yeah.
I'm still worthy of love.
You are. You all are. Everyone out in the void.
I did. I found it.
If you listen, if you are in the void and you're still listening to this, then you, especially of all people, need to hear that you deserve love and you're okay, and we love you, and others love you. The universe.
Someone's gonna love you, and you're gonna love them.
And,
like I found it.
Since we are the preeminent New Testament podcast, we can say
Yeah,
God
we are.
loves you.
We really are.
You are part of
God,
God's
definitely. I feel
creation.
like.
You're
Do you,
exactly
do
where
you
you're
feel
supposed to
like
be.
that? What's it called? The Watchmaker. We talked about this at a meal recently, but the Watchmaker concept where God's like he like makes all the
built
shit.
the clock, set it in motion, but he's not keeping the time. Sure. Or she.
Did that? And yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. If God was if for sure a woman, would he or she have made male bodies like ours, or not ours? Yours is fine, but would male bodies like go like, and women bodies go? Have you seen Nelly Furtado in a video recently? Come on, that's a male god, dude.
Sure.
Male god.
You know, speaking
Male
of,
god, big old penis. Yeah.
This perfect segue into small penises. I've described my I was going to think of a cleverer way to say it, but my pee-pee's so small because of the meds when my pee-pee's so small. So I've been doing the Adderall and doing this stupid long running in the cold and then doing an ice bath, which by the way, the only reason to do an ice bath is to fucking tell people you do ice baths. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But post-run, post-ice bath, Adderall testicles.
Is it tiny?
It's like a newborn baby. It's like a newborn baby, my friend.
How?
It's so small. It's so small. Oh. You would describe it as
I thought you meant like a door. It's a little door, like a baby carrot with a cute little face.
That's being generous. It is hysterical. I gotta show you sometime. You're gonna love it.
Is it hard though? Is it stiff?
Oh yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like a little jelly bean or something. You know, you can squish it if you press on it.
Oh God!
It's gross. It's gross.
It's a jelly bean that's been in a backseat console for like 3 weeks. You showed me Rage Call. She's like,
yeah.
Well, 69% of marriage divorces.
Yeah. Hey. You want to see something funny? Listen? It's just so you know. It is my penis. You've seen it at its best. Now see it at its worst. Here it is.
See it at its worst. Hey, you know it's you ever remember the first time you had any semblance of an erection? Like, do you remember being like younger or like older? Because there's like false boners.
Sure. Yeah.
You can get them when you're like. So I've heard people can get like orgasms when they're like young, from being in the tub or some shit. I had a boner in the tub. I was like 6 or 7.
Sure.
But it was like a small boner. I don't even know anything about being that age anymore, obviously. But I was like, what the fuck is this, man? And I was like, bet. And I file it away under, well, this is going to be a problem later in life. I was like, what is this feeling? Why did everything else go whoosh? I can't hear the water running anymore. I'm like, what do I do to it? Why? I wasn't scared. I was like, oh. And then, when that shit happened again later, like a few years later, where I was like, it's like, what do you do? And then like a couple years after that, you're like eschewing all other responsibilities forever to like, and then when you discovered edging, oh my God, dude.
I guess.
You're like, I was last week when I discovered edging. I just go for it. But I mean, it's like edging.
I have poor impulse control, and I'm not a big fan of delayed gratification. So why would I?
I love to self edge. Oh, I loved it.
Wow, all right.
Because it was like, this is the best I'm gonna feel all day. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Get it over with. I got writing and gambling to do, and I got other shit to do. But like, that's for masturbating. Let's be clear. That's all I do. So. Basically, it's like, I feel like I know why I like edging so much, self-edging so much. It's because the longer I edged, one would say the better it feels. That's not necessarily true. The longer you edge, the longer it takes for you to have to start your homework before your parents get home and show that you're like doing things productively. I would be on the fucking carpet and be like, no, slow. And it'd be like, Natalie Merchant video. Oh, I can go slower to this one. This is a good carnival or whatever the fuck, and it's like, God, Joan Osborne's like,
were you just pounding out in the living room? Just wherever you please.
Yeah, I had my textbooks, and it was usually I only remember it being geometry, and it's like and it was like I had all my shitty like crappy notebooks that are like poorly organized, looked like a fucking rabid like that rat thing from Princess Bride been chewing on it and shit, and it was just everything scattered everywhere.
Size.
It was a rats of universal size were eating through my social studies notebook that was like big and fat
because
I took way too many notes,
semen?
you know.
Is that what you're?
No, the semen never. My spread was my PSI in 8th grade was not what it became. It was not what it became. And it was like, but I just remember it was like MTV, VH1, and there was no porno, and it was only MTV videos, VH1, MTV, and it was like, but you know, you get excited, something gets you excited, usually like, hey, school's over, I can be myself again. No one's home, they trust me, probably because they know I'm not gonna do anything bad except just whack off in the living room, the television, music videos. I'm like,
bad, you know, really?
No, it's responsible. You're not getting anybody pregnant. You know, you're getting pregnant in your mind. Joan Osborne, Natalie Merchant, Natalie Imbruglia. When the Natalie Imbruglia video came on, and let's be clear, it was just one because she didn't write that song. It was like, oh shit, I better turn it to MTV. You know, that was like
lying naked on the floor. That one.
Nothing's right. I'm torn. I'm like, oh shit, I'm really torn. I'm torn between edging what I want to do because I don't want to do my fucking homework, or blast in here. Like, oh, I'm gonna blast, so I better put it back. And what would be on like because that was clear that remember the clear delineation between VH1 and MTV. I knew about it because my sexual programming is still connected to it. But it'd be like VH1, you got Natalie Imbruglia, and then MTV was either something hypersexual or like.
So
you're getting like
you were
VH1, Deep Blue Something, Natalie Imbruglia. Was that song Fastballs of the Way, or you go to MTV and it was like, was this 96, 97? What was on MTV then?
I don't know.
Shit.
But you weren't pounding your pud to the more sexually explicit. You were edging to Natalie Imbruglia.
No, I was edging to Joan Osborne. Yeah, that's right. I probably had my dick in my hand. What a slob like one of us, and I'm like, yeah. You know, like a slob like one of us. I'm like,
see, these are things that you can tell Chat GPT because they'll judge you less than I am right now. Actually, I'm not judging you. I'm proud of you, if anything.
Stranger
I'm so happy
on a bus trying, and I was trying to make my way home. And then Natalie Imbruglia came on next. I'm like, I'm torn. I'm gonna fucking come. And then I go back to MTV, and it's like I dance. And then obviously, I've told this before, but the one thing I had no tolerance for sexually was being able to keep a load in if like an LL Cool J video was on, like anything in that realm. Like we're talking about, like, so it goes from like the whiteness of like hot Natalie Imbruglia, like I'm a model but I'm a singer. Yeah, okay. But she's like on the floor and she's like in a skirt or something. Like, oh shit, got to change the channel. And it could be like the black singers would be like, I don't know, like on one end of the spectrum, Macy Gray. You're like, okay, good song. Like Tracy Chapman, Macy Gray type of thing, type of crunchy vibe. And then you got like that, like, what's that song? Was it Tony Braxton or whatever? What's that Tony Braxton song? It's like,
I don't know. You were talking about
I love singing on this program.
How horny he made you.
Oh God, dude. And then doing it was like, uh-oh. And it's like, I couldn't even get that. I don't know if I ever like tried to change the channel and with dick in one hand, remote in the other, and I just couldn't get back to Imbruglia to even. That would have scaled me down because the peak was definitely like I'd been edging or not edging. Doing it video comes in, and it's the one with what really gets me is he's like eating the peaches or whatever.
You know, I used to tell people back when I went to college that my father directed that video, and it was his idea for LL Cool J to eat the peach. Originally, I said he thought he was going to eat an apple, and then my father changed it to a peach, and he actually showed
the note stood fruit, and he's like showed him how, and did they believe it?
And they thought watermelon, and they thought that's a bad idea. That doesn't make sense. And then they went to apple, and then finally peach was my father's insistence. And like, really? And like,
You got to be a peach.
absolutely.
The guy has a great set of lips. It's
With
got to
the
be a
lips,
peach.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And the peep show element. It's like the peach and the peep show. He's looking behind the thing, like the confessional looking thing. I was like,
yeah.
do they believe it? That's
I don't
great.
know. It doesn't matter.
So your dad directed LL Cool J videos,
Yeah.
according to
right.
your stories.
That's right.
Do you remember that dude Marat?
Oh, boy, do I.
I don't think he's a listener. So his name's Marat, and he tried to tell your classmates. What were you in, like middle school or upper elementary school?
I don't know.
That he was at the Video Music Awards, and you're like, we called you, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, my phone works here.
He'd make a lot
It
of
was
lies.
something,
It was
man.
great. It was good. It was good.
I love it. I like people I like strivers is what I like.
Yeah.
You know? Okay. Yeah, so tell me something good. Let's test this laughter before we peace out. Tell me something good, bro. Make me laugh good. No pressure.
How about I share this with you? You were talking about boners in the bathtub. I have a distinct memory of lying on my back in the tub, playing with Ninja Turtles, and they were like fighting on my stomach. Now listen.
Yeah.
Listen, they'd be fighting on my stomach, and like they'd fight until someone would fall off into the water, right? But sometimes they would bounce. They'd like bounce off my erect penis and like, bounce back into them, like bouncing off the ropes.
It was walking the plank.
So that's something that literally I had not considered in years until you're like, I got a little 6-year-old boner in the bathtub. I didn't know what to do with it. And I was like, hey, wait a minute.
Boner in the bathtub.
I know what I did
Boner
with
in the
mine.
bathtub.
Michelangelo used it to springboard and kick that Foot Clan soldier in the head.
Hey, boy. Happy 2025! I'm gonna come.